Hello everyone, I am Assistant Professor Sanandi Sachdeva, and today we are going to talk about Unit 3 and a very important topic, presentation and its elements. So now let me take you to the contents that we are going to do today. So we would be discussing that how do we design a presentation, what are the various visual aids that are used to deliver while we are presenting something. We will also discuss about visual aids diagrammatically. We will learn that what kind of visual aids are used, we will understand through structure, and we will see that whenever we are delivering a presentation, what are the elements to be taken care of. So students, developing an effective presentation is a very important as well as a very intricate issue. Presentation is always mistaken with PowerPoint slides. No, presentation is not a PowerPoint slide, it is not necessarily a PowerPoint slide. Whenever you are presenting something to your audience, that is termed as presentation. So presentation, for developing an effective presentation, we need to follow certain steps while we are developing the content of the presentation. The first step is to research. Now students, while we are researching, we need to take care of two things. Number one, we should research about the content that we are going to present in the presentation, and second, we need to research about the audience who are going to be there while we are presenting our content. Content has to be well researched. Whenever we are presenting some kind of content, thorough facts and figures about that content has to be presented. You need to take care of 7 C's of communication while you are researching, especially when it comes to concreteness. Your content is required to be concrete. The facts and figures specifically are required to be correct. Once we research about the audience, we need to understand that the audience who are sitting in the presentation, what is their level of understanding, what is their level of expertise, what kind of previous knowledge do they have. So while we are learning about the audience, we need to gauge their level of understanding so that the level of our presentation is matching with the understanding of our audience. Moving on, we need to organize what we have researched. Now this organizing part is very important because it will make our content to come in a manner which is easily understood by the intended audience. So over here, we need to organize the content through chunking. Chunking, students, is a very important technique. While we chunk our material, we chunk it into some similar ideas so that we can make an impression in the mind of the person who is listening to us. The person would be able to recall what we have taught in the class or probably what we have presented during the presentation. For chunking, students, or for organizing, we can use certain guidelines or certain steps. Number one is the outlining or idea charting. Now what is outlining or idea charting? It is breaking the ideas into some major topics and then converting those topics into groups. Now listing the similar groups together. This is called outlining or idea charting. Now why is idea charting important, students? Idea charting is important because it helps in picking up the similar ideas together, and this can leave a preview in the minds of the people who are listening to you. That is why idea charting is definitely a very important element when it comes to organizing your presentation. Moving on, students. Next comes storyboarding. This is one technique that has been used by a lot of writers also, and otherwise also this technique is very popular because it helps to create sections that a presenter wants to present. Now these sections are well created by the presenter in advance, and he knows that in which section what he needs to talk about. This again helps in chunking the content in a very peculiar manner, and it actually draws the attention of the people who are listening to you. Next is mind mapping. Now how does mind mapping helps? It helps in free flowing of thoughts. Now these mind maps are made and some ideas are put on pen and paper so that they can be discussed while you are presenting your presentation to the intended audience. Moving on, the third step while you are presenting something is to focus. Now focus, students, is extremely important. Once you have researched about what you are going to talk about, once you know your audience, Now you need to focus your content based upon the level of understanding of your audience. While you are focusing on your content, you need to make sure that your content is not very simple or your content is not very complex, because too simple content is going to affect the mind of the people who already possess a lot of knowledge, and too complex content is going to be difficult to comprehend for the people who are listening to your presentation. So, we need to focus by suiting the level of the audience. That means, we need to focus and devise our content in a manner that it is suiting the mind of the audience, it is suiting the level of knowledge of the audience, it is also suiting the background of the audience, that what kind of language are the audience easily understanding. So, we need to gauge this through researching, and once we have gauged this through researching, we need to focus our content based upon that. Moving on, next is draft. So, while we are drafting the information, we require to be very creative. We need to compose it in a suited order, and we need to allow the time gap. Now, students, we have focused our content based upon the expectation of the audience. Now, we are going to finally draft the content. While we are drafting the content, we need to be very creative. Presentations should not be boring, they should have perfect amount of creativity, so that attention of the people who are listening to you is not lost at any point of time. So, while we are drafting, we need to show a lot of creativity here. Then we need to compose it in a suited order, the order which is suited to you as a presenter. Now, you need to make sure that you should not be focusing upon very difficult parts which you are not comfortable with. You need to focus upon the parts which you are comfortable with, and you need to put them in the order as a presenter which you like. Okay. So, moving on, you also need to allow some time gap. Why do we need to allow some time gap? There has to be a time gap between creativity and analyzing what has been put in the presentation. It has to be well analyzed, so that the presentation is in the perfect order, suiting the requirements of the people who are listening to you. The fifth step is edit. Now, I may say that this is one of the most important steps when it comes to outlining or making your presentation, because this will actually be the last step where you are ensuring the perfection of your presentation that you are going to present to your intended audience students. While you are editing the document, you need to check it from a holistic communication angle. Now, what is holistic communication angle? Holistic communication angle focuses upon an overall approach, and it makes sure that the message is actually delivering what it is intended to be delivering. Okay. So, while we are checking the holistic communication angle, we need to check our channel choice. That means, what is going to be the channel with which the message is going to be delivered. We need to check the audience, that we have already done while we were researching and we were focusing. We need to analyze the need of the audience, and this is the final step when we will be analyzing the need of the audience, that what is their expectation out of this particular presentation. We need to check the quality of the message and the quantity. Now, quantity here also plays an important role, because you must consider you attitude while we are talking to other. We need to be very considerate, and we need to make sure that how much content can be comprehended by an individual by actually focusing upon that this content is actually going to the minds of the people who are listening to you. So, this you attitude is very important, students, because in using this attitude, you actually empathize and you consider the needs of the receiver. You also need to ensure the correctness. Now, when we talk about 7 C's in business communication, students, correctness is one of the 7 C's. So, this correctness has to be ensured. Correctness should be grammatically correct. Correctness should be the flow and the logic that you are talking about. The flow, the logic of the document, the emphasis, the tone is very important, is also very important. Now, emphasis is, students, there are certain parts of the presentation that you require to be well emphasized upon. For example, while you go to the corporate and you are giving a sales presentation and your sales in the previous quarter have been exceptionally good. So, over here you need to lay emphasis by telling on the fact that how did your sales in the previous quarter were so good. So that is why the emphasis should be set in a manner that people actually pay attention to the sales figure that you have just quoted in your presentation. Okay. So a good outline always ensure a very logical presentation. Students, outline of the presentation can be logical, it can be difficulty method, it can be need plan method. You can base your presentation based upon कि आप सबसे easy चीज़ें पहले बताएं and then you move on to the difficult areas. You can use a need plan method that for this problem you have sought out this particular solution. You can also choose a logical rational method where you are focusing upon cause and effect relationship. For example, because of corona, the sales of or the hospitality sector, the aviation sector completely dropped down. This is what we call as logical rational method, where we are focusing upon the cause and the effect relationship. So while we are designing the presentation, we need to make sure that all these prerequisites are completely comprehended and completely taken care of. Moving on, choosing the right outline for the presentation, students effectively ensures that जो आप प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं वो उसी तरीके से पहुंचाए जिस तरीके से आपकी ऑडियंस एक्सपेक्ट कर रही है, एंड योर मैसेज हैज़ रिसीव्ड द डिकोडर इन द मच इंटेंडेड मैनर. ऑलराइट, मूविंग ऑन. This is just a diagrammatic representation of what we just talked about. We talked about researching about the content as well as the audience. We talked about organizing. We talked about focusing as per the need of the audience. We talked about drafting it, using a lot of creativity, allowing the time gap, and then we talked about editing it. Edit has to focus upon correctness of the message. It should also focus upon the tone, the emphasis of the message. So this is just a diagrammatic quick recap of what we have just talked about. Moving on. Now students, presentations are very less given alone. Presentations are often accompanied by what we call as visual aids. Now what is a visual aid? Visual aid is something that is helping a presenter to present the presentation in a very effective manner. Now there are certain kind of visual aids that we need to understand. The first visual aid is a flip chart. Now what is a flip chart? Flip chart looks something like this. I have put on this diagram so that you can understand what a flip chart is. So flip chart looks like this. This is actually a big canvas kind of a thing over where you are writing certain things, you want to mark certain things. Usually students, when in corporate, when people sit for in the conference room for a discussion and they brainstorm, so they use these kinds of flip chart. So this is a visual aid that is very effective while we are making presentation. Certain points to be remembered for a flip chart is, flip chart is a visual aid, and first, rather than in front of the audience, what we can do is, whenever we are using flip chart, instead of writing in front of the audience, we need to prepare the flip chart before we are meeting those intended audience. Also we need to check the legibility on the flip chart, because this is something that you are writing manually, so there might be a possibility that the legibility is less. So you need to make sure that it is legible, whatever on the flip chart has been given is legible. Then grammar and proofreading, you need to check the grammar also, and once you are done with it, you need to proofread it so that there is no mistake. Students, mistakes actually do not give a very positive impression of you. So you need to make sure that while you are using or you are presenting something, whether the presentation is oral or presentation is written, you need to make sure that your presentation should not have any kind of grammatical errors when it comes to oral as well as written presentation. So in case of you are using any kind of artwork on your flip chart, you need to make sure that it must be consistent. In case you are using bar graph, stick to bar graph, and you need to make sure that the artwork is very consistent in nature. Moving on, you have an OHP, which is commonly called an overhead projector. Now this overhead projector has been substituted by a lot of PowerPoint presentation, but still this overhead projector is used as a very powerful tool or a visual aid while we are presenting something. Let me show you how does an overhead projector looks like. It is somewhat like this. You might have seen in such kind of overhead projectors in the company beforehand. So how does this help? This helps in telling us the visual illustrations, the graphical illustration, the outline, the steps for a particular organizational hierarchy. So whenever we are considering all these needs, we use overhead projector for that. Okay. Moving on, one of the very important visual aid what I am using right now is the PowerPoint slide. One of a very powerful tool when you want to discuss something while referring to a point and then communicating the same to the intended audience. So over here, these PowerPoint slides look very professional, and they are very easy to make as well as very easy to design. We need to take care of certain steps while we are designing a PowerPoint presentation. We need to start with the title slide, of course, because it gives a gist what we are going to talk about. Then audience is identified. Students, we have been talking about audience a lot, and you might be thinking that why audience is so important. But you need to make sure and understand that audience is the one we are preparing the presentation for, right? So while we are preparing the presentation, we need to identify our audience, we need to focus on their need, we need to check their level of understanding, and then we need to make our presentation accordingly so that it suits the need of the audience at that point of time. You also need to check that how many number of slides are you using. A lot of slides actually breaks the flow of the content, and those mini memory curves that I was talking about chunking the content, that is not achieved. That motive is not achieved while you use a lot of slides, because it breaks the flow of the people who are listening to you. So you need to keep the number of slides as per the topic that you have been assigned to. Now, using the title slide to highlight the topic and self. So you can give a brief introduction of yours by writing, like I used a brief introduction. I've written my name, I've written the institute I am affiliated to. So what I have done, I have put it in the first slide so that not much of the time is wasted, and at the same time I can give the gist of what I am going to present and who I am. Okay. Next is creating a section visual to the structure, slightly longer presentation, using a closing visual to focus on synthesizing recommendations or highlighting a message. This also plays an important part. Look what I did. I just used this particular diagram to just focus upon what I just said. So once, this is called synthesizing. Once we synthesize what we have just talked about, it makes the message more coherent, and you can it is helpful in building a very systematic bridge which will help you to connect with the audience. Moving on, emphasize the main message and the purpose. Example is the presentation is sell mode or tell mode. Now let us talk about these two modes. We need to talk about कि हमारी presentation का purpose क्या है, whether our presentation is to sell or whether our presentation is to tell. Now students, what is sell mode of presentation? Sell mode of presentation is something like an elevator pitch, where you are using very strong lines to draw the attention of the people who are listening to you. Sell mode of presentation is a very quick mode of presentation where you just talk about what you intend to, and you close it with very attractive lines so that the attention is not lost anywhere. Whereas tell mode of presentation, students, is an area or is the kind of presentation where you exactly want to apprise the individual with everything you know about a particular topic. So tell mode is quite longer as compared to sell mode, and it involves much of the information given stepwise, whereas sell mode involves less information but very attractive information to be given to the intended audience. Moving on, as I just talked, you need to focus upon each section with the help of chunking technique. You need to chunk your content, driving the basic content and then driving the subtopics. This will help your audience to remember this, and this will also help you to organize your content better. Moving on, working on the easier sections and then moving on the tougher sections. What I just talked about, the difficulty method, that first you focus upon the easier sections so that the comprehension, the audience is easily able to comprehend, and then you move on to the tougher sections. Okay. Last is there are certain other examples other than flip chart, OHP and PowerPoint slide. That could be a very simple whiteboard or a blackboard that has been used in the institutes and schools from a very long time. It can be a handout also, students, a paper handout that will help the individual to understand that what is the agenda of today's talk or what are the points to be focused upon. So, that is a paper handout that usually presenters give while they are presenting something. Okay, students, now this is a flip chart that I have just explained, an OHP overhead projector. This is PowerPoint slides that we need to see what I am doing right now. This is a PPT. These are paper handouts. You can see, for example, 7 sample techniques to get successful in marketing, something like that. So, this provide you very quick content about what the presenter is going to present in front of you, and this is a whiteboard, very common visual aid that has been used. Okay, so now students, we have talked about कि हम presentation कैसे बनाएंगे, we have talked about कि कौन से तरीक़ों से सामने वाले का interest हमारी presentation में आएगा. So now we are going to talk about a very important topic which is delivering the presentation. People do make very good presentations, but when it comes to delivery, one or the other point actually creeps in and make the presentation not up to the mark what you have expected your presentation to be and what people have expected your presentation to look like or to be delivered like. So, delivering a presentation is an art. We need to understand कि हम जब presentation deliver कर रहे हैं तो वो बहुत effectively and efficiently deliver हो, so that our message is delivered and there is no barrier while we are giving this presentation. So, now whenever we are giving a presentation, we need to take care of rapport building, setting up an initial rapport with your audience, students. Now, always remember, this rapport cannot be set using this buddy approach. What is this buddy approach? That you go, you say hi, hello to the individual in a very informal manner, and then you keep on talking in quite a semi-formal or informal manner. That will not work while we are talking about a corporate presentation. Neither will a yes sir approach work. Yes sir approach is an approach where you are actually saying yes to whatever your audience is wanting. Whatever they are saying, you are saying yes to it. So, none of these two approaches is okay. You need to make sure that you have to adopt a middle way between these two approach. Okay, whenever you need to say yes, you may say yes. Whenever you need to get a little informal, you may get informal, but then it has to be made sure that your message is being delivered in the much desired manner. Okay, so following are the parts that we need to consider while we are building rapport with our audience. Number 1, and very important, adopting to a situation or environment. Students, now this has to be made clear that whenever we need to adopt to some kind of environment, we need to adopt to the cultural features of that environment, the social features of that environment. We need to adopt with the psychological context and the physical environment जहाँ पे हम presentation deliver कर रहे हैं. Coming to the first point, what is cultural environment? It comprises of synergy among the group. जो ग्रुप हमारे सामने बैठा है, टू whom we are presenting, उनके अंदर आपस में how are they bonding, what is the synergy of the group, what are the values of the company जहाँ पे you are giving this presentation. So, this is very important to be understood, that you need to know the cultural understanding, the shared beliefs among the individual. Then you need to focus upon the physical environment. Now, this physical environment is the seating arrangement that is being done in front of you. It is about the color, the audibility, the visibility, whether your presentation is nicely visible, whether you are nicely audible. This plays a huge role when it comes to the effect that you really have on the mind of the people who are sitting in front of you. Then you also need to take care of the psychological context. Now, psychological context is basically the context that you share, or the designation, or the relationship that you share with the people that they are sitting in front of you. What is the potential competitiveness? Are the people sitting in front of you your competitors, or are they your seniors, or are they your juniors? So, you need to take care of all these things, and then you need to be very focused कि जब आप presentation deliver कर रहे हैं, all these things, especially the psychological context, has to be well taken care of. Other than that, students, you might also be very happy or shocked to know that whenever we are delivering a presentation, the color of the wall plus the pattern that has been used on the wall in the room that you are sitting also plays a huge role. For example, if you are delivering a presentation and you have walls beside you with a very highly designed wall with a lot of confusing, you can say abstract designs, at that point in time people will be much more interested in looking at the walls rather than listening to your presentation. So you need to make sure that wherever you go, the seating arrangement is good, plus the walls are of pastel colors or of light colors, so that the whole orientation of the audience or the whole interest and attention of the audience is on the speaker, that is you, in that particular context. Moving on, the social setting. Now social setting is the hierarchical and the professional relationships that you share with the people who are sitting with you. It also depends upon the lighting of the room, the ventilation, so you need to take care of all these social settings. So in short, you need to adopt to the environment where you are delivering the presentation, and adopting is not just to the room settings, it is also to the psychological level of the audience. Okay. Moving on, working on the verbal and the non-verbal cues, students, is very important. Now, what are non-verbal cues? Non-verbal cues are your non-verbal gestures that you are using while you are talking to people. Students, non-verbal communication is the communication which is active all the time. Whenever you are listening, whenever you are presenting, your non-verbal communication is active. Like while I am talking to you, I am using my hands in a certain manner, I am using my eyes in a certain manner, I am using the pace of my voice in certain manner, so that I can attract your attention and I can make sure that whatever I want to explain is being explained to you in the manner that I have intended. Okay. So let us talk about certain elements of non-verbal cues while you are presenting something. You need to take care of your posture. Students, your posture is required to be upright, so that upright postures depicts confidence. So if your posture is upright, the first impression that will be formed about you will be very positive. You need to take care of your gestures. Now gestures are the ways that I am using my hands, I am using my neck. Too much of gestures, students, is a word of caution, because that will withdraw the attention from your message and it will move the attention to the gestures. You should not do that. Walking and footwork. While you are delivering presentation in a room, you might walk a little, a slight walk is okay, but walking too much will obviously deviate the attention of the students or the listeners from your message, and it will they will pay more focus on the way you are walking or the footwork or the taps that you are making while you are walking. Your facial expression should not look very nervous. Moving on, your eye contact has to be very good. Students, eye contact is very important. Too much eye contact shows that you are dominating people. Too less eye contact shows that you are underconfident. So an appropriate level of eye contact is very important. Moving on, your vocal traits, your intonation, your modulation, the pace at which you talk, the pitch, everything will have a huge impact. Then you should be away from things like chewing gum or distracting position like putting your hands in the pocket. They are a big no-no during the presentation. Last part is, it's not just how effective you deliver the presentation, you need to handle the questions also very effectively, because you might have certain kind of people in your audience set who are pontificators, who are actually pointing out, who are just rambling your conversation. ये ऐसे लोग होते हैं who like being heard. So they are not interested in your conversation, they are more interested कि वो क्या कह रहे हैं. So you need to answer such individuals, you need to take care of the distractors, the people who are distracting the whole conversation. So every question has to be handled in a very peculiar manner, and you should be very calm and composed while you are handling the questions. So students, this is me wishing you all the best for all your upcoming presentations, and I hope that you are going to take care of all these tips and tricks that I have talked about while you are giving a presentation. Thank you so much.